Yeah, let's get the nun outfit for this. As soon as you load. Thank you. Get the Bible. Alright. Copy. Just grabbing my reference. Alright. Okay, big stretch. Oh yeah, wasn't there something on her I was supposed to remember? I think we're good. Yeah, I think I already got it. Oh well, if I notice, I'll fix it. I was considering swapping this. So let's switch this out. I just want them on different layers. Off for now. There should be butter on your left. Use that to get yourself out. Try not to eat it. You'll just make things worse. Is it salted butter? I have no idea. I just know that it's butter. That's the question we should do. Where's the main light? This should be facing that way. Oh, you like this version of Jam? Unholy cow. There's no longer any butter. Reminds me of that one skit of someone giving a EpiPen to their therapist, and then all of a sudden busting out a bar of chocolate and starts scarfing it down. And she's like, "No." She's like, "Why are you giving me your EpiPen?" I don't remember that one. I'll have to look for that one. I'm sure I've seen it, but I just don't remember. Then again, it's been a while since I've watched like modern Family Guy, so it could be one of the newer ones. I mostly watch the older episodes. The only thing I can think of is when Brian has super speed, but that's probably not it. Let's go. Joke on Cookie Monster. I'll try to look for it at some point. See if I can find it. But no worries. Oh yeah, I was gonna put the skull on her top. I'll do that after I'm done shading. That's what I forgot to do. You know what? I'll do that right now, just so I don't forget. Brush. Let's try this brush and see how that works. Just want to give her like a crude drawing of one. Yeah, that's not working. I'll turn this off just in case. Let's try this one. I think I want to go with something a little bit more direct. Let's try this. Yeah. Let's try this one. Let's do that. Then put some splatters on it. Oops, wrong one. something like this. Let's blend it in a little bit more. Make it look faded. Those are like 70. That should do it. Yeah, don't worry about it. Hello, hello. Nah, this is from Sonic Adventure 1. This is E102 Gamma's theme. Yeah, and there's technically a continuation of it for E101 Beta. So if you put both their themes together, it sounds like they go together. I usually play them in succession, just because of that. Yeah, Sonic Adventure has great music. I like this era of music. And then here's E101's theme. It's mostly the beginning part that lines up. Hello, hello. Try and see. Yeah, I saw. It's definitely making me consider getting a Switch 2, but I still feel like I'm only getting it for like 2, maybe 3 games, so I would definitely have to think on that. Plus, I'd have to think pretty soon because I know that the price of the Switch is going to go up soon. Or the Switch 2. And I think the Switch is going to go up too. But so far, it's for like 2 games that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure there's probably at least one more, but it would only be for those 2 games at the moment. But that's if I even feel like getting it. I think I'll... I mean, if I end up paying more, I end up paying more, so I think I'll just wait and see if the games are like different enough for me to justify wanting to get a Switch 2. Because if not, then it's not worth it. And that's when I realized I missed a color. Or did I? Yeah, I definitely did. See, this is why I streamline how I do everything, so that way everything is easy to fix. There we go. Literally just one little color. Bit of color. That's why we do this. Luckily it's easy to fix. I just gotta redo these. This back off so I can see. Yeah, I'm like on and off. Like every once in a while, I'll play like the Switch or. I mean, I guess technically I do play ZZZ with a controller, so I guess I'm not like rusty. But it's been a good chunk of time since I played an actual console. Because most of the time I just play PC stuff. It's mostly just the quick gotcha games that I play. Yeah, this one being harder. This stuff. Didn't change too much, but I'll leave them alone for now. I can always tweak them. Hello, hello. Thanks. I have not watched Dan Da Dan. I'll have to. I know it's good. I just haven't sat down to watch it. So I don't know anything about it other than the was it like Turbo Granny? I think that's their name. I think that's about all I know. And not even that much. Like I just know the character exists. That's it. So I'll have to give the series a try at some point. There's like a list of shows that I need to watch. One of these days, I'm just gonna sit down and have one of them on. Well, I like to give it attention, so one of these days I'm gonna have to like, when I'm doing like downtime or whatever, I'll watch an episode or two. Usually I watch like 2 episodes at a time. Which reminds me, I need to finish watching Beavis and Butthead. I think I'm almost done with season 5 of the first series. And then I'll move on to the second. Because I think there's like, what, 7 seasons or so of the first season? Of the first series? Yeah, I don't know if it'll be for me or not. I literally know. All I know about it is I think they like find aliens or something. But that's like all I know about it. But I'll have to give it a shot just to see if I like it. I'll probably rewatch Jujutsu Kaisen from the start because I only watched like the first season and then the prequel movie thing, and then I watched like a couple episodes of season 2, and then I just fell off of it. So I think I'll just rewatch it from the start just to refresh myself on it, and then try to finish it. Same thing for Chainsaw Man. I only watched like a few episodes when it started, and then somehow I just kind of fell off, which is weird because I don't normally do that. But but yeah, just gives me things to get back into. I'm sure there's like something else I need to get back into as well. I'm sure there's at least one other show. I need to see if the other Fully Cooley seasons or series were any good, because I only watched the original. Curious. Change much. Need to be more flexible about the backlighting. Or reflect lighting. usually have this set up. Let's see if I need to expand on that. Exaggerate the highlights for once. I don't do it very often. I can only say she's wearing like leather shorts or something shiny. God, that theme is so good. Genuine pleather. Yeah. No worries. Like, she wearing the good shit. That or the stuff that easily gets destroyed by her fat ass. Whichever comes first. Either way, it is fashion. And since this is here, let's move this upwards. Lipstick on. Yeah. I don't really say much if nothing's getting me going. You know how I am. Most of the time I'm quiet until, I don't know, some random subject stirs me up. Yeah, I tried to shorten the delay. I don't know if it actually did it. I think I knew what to do, but then I didn't have it stream that day, so I might have forgotten to shorten the lag. Because I remember there being a setting for it, but I don't remember if I changed it. I'll have to make a note of that and then try to tweak it before I stream again. Because I know I found it at one point. Aqua Teen Hunger Force? Yeah, I've watched it. I watched the whole thing when it aired. And seen the movie. No, keep having fun. Whatever I decide to do will be the stuff that I've already been planning and stuff like that. It'll be a while before anything happens anyway, because I gotta start picking my battles here, because I can't keep getting sidetracked by other things. I gotta refocus onto the ongoing stories. So if I do something extra, it'll either be like a slice of life or just something that'll be updated very slowly. But we already got like several things going on at once, so no worries there. And if there's an idea that I like but it doesn't fit with the characters, I can always just apply it to a different character. So no worries there. Best I can say is just keep practicing. If you need to look up tutorials, then do so. No shame in that. And eventually you'll find what works for you. Me is just constant trial and error, like everyone else. So no worries, you're not doing anything nobody hasn't gone through. Yeah, exactly. That's why I've been a little bit more open to just showing off the characters that haven't had like bios or character artwork yet. Because I can't just, sit and wait for me to show off that before I start using them type of thing. So better to use them now, and then when they finally get some artwork, then go from there. Or at the very least, there will probably be a point where I just show their concept art first before I make my own. But I'll probably just wait on that and just wait until I make my own. I feel better doing it that way. I like them all for different reasons. They all have their funny moments. Trying to put in like stupid amount of detail onto her shorts since she's stretching it out so much. Like, look at all these creases. Probably more creases towards the areas where there's stitching. Trying to take my time though, because I don't want to go too crazy. Might soften this part though, because it's a shade. That should be fine. Don't think I need to do much more. Any Fruit Girl characters I like? Can you be a bit more specific? Like, do you mean my characters or other fruit-based characters? Other fruit-based characters? Haven't really thought about that, honestly. Like, I'm sure I know fruit characters, I just never really thought about it to that degree. I honestly have no idea. Like, I could easily say something like strawberry shortcake or something like that, but I don't think that's like the type of answer you're looking for. So at the moment, I don't know. Simply because I haven't really put much thought into it. That's probably the worst. The worst thing that your character could be towards the fruit characters is a God Slayer, because it's due to a character that is like a God Slayer that they're in the situation that they're in. So that's probably the worst scenario. Like, Jam probably wouldn't think much of it, but Eden Fig probably would have some thoughts. Maybe Strawberry, depends. Okay, I think we're good on the shining at this point. I'll just lighten this spot up a little bit more. God's layers. Now I'm more curious, what the fuck does God's layers mean? If it auto-corrected to that. I'm like, I feel I missed that part. The fuck does that mean? Either God has like layers like an onion, or layers as in bedtime. So that was where my mind immediately went. I'm like, huh. So you do go on. Okay. I know there's gonna be more to this that I want to mess with. But I think I got the main stuff. Alright. Moving on. Lady Luckfake does good stuff. I have her on Patreon, but she's taking a break for now. I know, right? It's like, I got autocorrect. I was like, that's not what I meant. Within the same realm as, like, I said slay the dragon, not lay the dragon. They're like, oh, that makes more sense. Although when we're talking about furries, they're like, nah, laying the dragon makes more sense. Blush, pretty subtle. We should do it. I would suggest not trying to insert your characters into other stuff, because it's just gonna disappoint you if the person that you're making the tribute to doesn't respond well to it. You're better off with your own characters and lore and stuff like that. Just gonna say that right now. Because I've already had run-ins with a few people like that. This was like years ago now, but it has been an issue at some point. Like, trust me, you are better off with your own stuff. Sure, you can draw like fan art and stuff every once in a while, but like, don't be annoying about it. That's like the best way I can put it. Like, don't try to constantly get their attention and try to get like info dumps just so you can make like more fan art and more like OC pairing and stuff like that. But again, like, it's perfectly fine to just do it for fun without, you know, trying to get the attention. But the moment that you try to like push into like the conversation or like, you know, the space of the creator, that's when it starts getting not stalker-ish, but a little on the, I don't know if creepy really fills it either, but it could escalate to that. But just be respectful. But you should be fine if you're just drawing for fun and not like making it like a bigger thing than it is. Oh yeah, I still need to do the other stuff with her eyes. I'll get there. Luckily this part doesn't take much thought. Yeah, because like a long time ago there was a situation where one person, like as soon as this person read iHat, they like constantly kept coming up with like their character making deals with Daylock because of Chapter 5, and like trying to be like a character that was like on the side, just kind of observing like Marcy and Skylar, even though they have nothing to do with those characters whatsoever, like no part of their lives or anything. So it was just kind of weird. Yeah, exactly. And then the same situation came up when I was doing my Sonic fan comic, where I made a couple of OC characters for the comic, and once one person found out about the drawbacks of the Esper characters, like how their powers work and all that, they always kept trying to come up with scenarios where the drawbacks were no longer a thing, and it just kind of defeated the whole point. And then they kept trying to like pair their OC with them and stuff like that. So it was just kind of like I tried to explain it to them multiple times, and then finally it sank in. But yeah, you just gotta be wary of situations like that and understand that it's fine to have fun, making your OCs with other existing characters and stuff like that, but you definitely don't want to try to force it onto the creator or constantly bug them about certain information or asking like, oh, hey, do you think your character would like my character for blah 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 reasons, type of thing. So you just gotta just be respectful and not like try to bug them about it. But if you're just doing it for fun on your own, then you're perfectly fine. And it's also so that you yourself don't get let down when things don't go the way you want, such as like, an artist um, noticing you or acknowledging you type of thing. Like if they're busy and they just simply don't answer you, then you don't want to like be in the mindset that like they dislike you or anything like that. You just got to understand that they're busy. They're most likely gonna gloss over all comments if assuming they even look at them at all, and then understand that they're even if you did have a good idea, they can't technically take it anyway legally, because if they were to use any idea in like an official story and stuff like that, you have to understand that if it's like one to one the same as whatever ideas somebody had, then technically legally they might have to do royalties, but that's like a whole legal thing. Like that may or may not even come to pass, but that's why most of the time creators don't look at the comments when it comes to like creativity stuff, because they don't want to get in a legal scenario where they end up taking somebody's idea. So they have to put themselves in a position where any idea they come up with, that even if it coincidentally matches with somebody else's idea, they have the ability to say that they never saw the comments. Because at minimum, I think they would have to like acknowledge that they saw it. Hello, hello. not supposed to get 210 gold these spots. These are more supposed to be glossing over. Let's turn this off for a moment because I need to do the other stuff. Look at jams. Fuck me eyes. I like Fate, but Twintel's my favorite. Interesting. Okay, and that's why we do it this way. I still gotta draw the background for this. I can always bum it with a altered photo, but I would prefer to try to draw it this time. I need to work on backgrounds anyway. Still more to do. I did want to experiment with this. Let's give this a shot. Screen, see how I feel about it. Probably lower it. Let's just do this part first and see how I feel about it. Why? Why do I like Twintail? I just like her more. I gel with that character more. Alright, have a good night, Frost. Play around with this. Don't dislike that. I like linear light the most. Okay, it's between linear light and maybe color dodge. We'll go with color dodge. Lower it a bit though. I think I'll redo some spots so that way I have it in mind. Most of the time it's Fate that's the troublemaker. Twintail is usually the one that gets her out of trouble, or at least attempts to help her. Thank you. Plus, there was that one short of Fate taking advantage of Twintail and basically turning her into a bloated strawberry cow. So definitely, she's the bad one in that situation. And she exploited the hell out of her on that one. Personally, that's like my favorite short, but there are others after it and all that are also good. Like when Fate gets abducted by aliens. Thanks. Could use a little bit more work, but I like what I got out of it. Trying to like find that fine line so that way I don't overdo it. Oops, wrong button. I think we're good on that. Let's move over here. About Pumpkin from what? Because you gotta remember there are like multiple characters named Pumpkin. If we're talking about the Lady Luck Fate stuff, I probably don't think much of them. They're kind of like one of those meh characters. Then of course there's the characters from Ridiculous Cake that I like as well. I mean, I made the character. She's just a fun slob character. I don't know what you want me to answer on that. Just a little bit color over here. Try and add a little bit of highlights to her outfit. There's always a chance some of this will change based on how I go about the background. Let's see, do I want to do this to her? Yeah, that looks nice. Nothing too crazy. Although I should probably turn this off because I want the highlights to be affected. Or the lighting. Just enough. I don't want to go too crazy. Okay. A lot, like right now I'm in the experiment phase where I'm just seeing what I might want to see in the future and how I go about it. I did once try to recreate. Depends on the continuity of their apartment, because I've only seen like a few rooms of it. Ridiculous skates are an animation. Yeah. The pyrocynical little animated puppet thing that I did was looking at one of Ridiculous Cake's tutorials. Still needs work though, but it was fun practice. It'll help to contextualize your question. Yeah, it helps if you let me know like what exactly are you trying to know. Because asking me what I feel about my own characters is kind of confusing, because it's like, well, I made them, so I must like them to some degree. Or whatever, so it's easier to just express what is it that you want to know. There we go. Alright, I think I got the majority of what I wanted to do with this phase. So now let's do this. Turn this back on. Blur. Put you at 4, like I usually do. There we go. Alright, she looking good. Now for the weird fun part. Pretty much the whole reason why I wanted to draw this in the first place. But first I need the color gray. Let's use this one. See, this is why I think it's bullshit when people are like, "Oh, I can't believe you drew this risque artwork for whatever dumb reason they try to put on you." It's like, bitch, do you know how many hours this takes? Like that, you have to be so fucking committed. Let's go to reference for this. That's not bad. I do like the way it splatters on this side. Alright, let's do that. Shouldn't be too difficult. Alright, just a little, yeah. Might need a light layer underneath just so I'm not lost. Sorry for the sudden flashbang. Here we go. That's neat. Well, parts I need to close, I can do that afterwards. Have it dripping down like her mascara or her eyeliner. Yeah, she has a number of characters, and she has been showing stuff on the animations, but she does get, I mean, it does suck that people are posting her stuff on YouTube and making money off of it, because she has not given anybody her permission to do that. But there's not really much she can do unless she wants to take legal action, but that costs money, so unfortunately her hands are tied in that scenario. That's why she makes it very difficult to get her content. Because she used to just make it where you're able to download it when you're subscribed to her, but now you have to jump through hoops to get anything. And me, I like to collect artwork and animations and stuff like that, so I make the effort to try to preserve stuff like that, but it just sucks overall. I don't post it anywhere, this is strictly for me to have. Um, with Ridiculous Cake, they took down his channel, I believe, because they considered his content to be too lewd at the time. But then, you know, you have various people constantly posting his animations and stuff throughout the years. Then it was like either, I don't think it was last year. It was probably like the year before, or however. It was only like pretty recently that YouTube put his channel back for some reason. So who knows what the reason could have been? It could have been for YouTube thinking it was too lewd. Could have been for YouTube mistaking somebody else's channel as the real channel with his animations, and so that had to be settled or disputed or whatever the case may be. It could be various reasons, but I just remember that one day he was like, "Oh hey, my YouTube channel's back, cool," and then he updated every once in a while. But it's still a shitty situation where something as basic as like weight gain and inflation can be considered too lewd, but then you have all the other stuff that's on YouTube, so it's like, YouTube, what, like you know, you gotta put down the pipe or put down the beer, damn. So it's up, like, YouTube is very inconsistent. And then, of course, there was the situation with Corey Kenshin, so who knows if that is true or not. Leaning towards it being true, but hopefully not, because that's just messed up if it is. Oh, Wolfie Tunes had to deal with that too. Like, I saw him still posting his stuff, so I don't know if they had to go through too much. But I do know that, I forget their full name. It's like CK something or whatever. They do like, vor sound effects and stuff like that. Their channel is completely demonetized for some reason. I guess because their content is considered, I guess that it's like YouTube thinks that their content is like slop based in terms of like there's not enough going on to make it distinct, I guess would be the way to put it. So they're gonna have to like do more just to make it stand out, but right now they're demonetized, so I'll have to check their journal to see if anything new has happened, but last time I checked, they can't make money off of their channel currently, which is bullshit. I really like the smear effect that this reference has, so I'm gonna do that a bit further. Make it look like her mascara is smudged. I still want that wet feeling. Yeah. Like, YouTube's weird because when it comes to animation, it's all over the place. Some stuff gets demonetized while other stuff doesn't. Sometimes they'll get demonetized and then get reinstated and then demonetized again. And then sometimes reinstated and then it just stays reinstated. It's all over the place on YouTube. But it's definitely a lot better than Twitch. But Twitch has its benefits too. So it just depends on what you need it for. But yeah, hopefully YouTube, like, I know YouTube's starting to relax a little bit more on that stuff, but it's still a pain in the ass to navigate. Because it's kind of like those situations where it's like, you know, when you see those animations that blur a character's butt, even if it's not really showing anything, it's like, oh, okay, it's, you know, a thong or whatever, but it's not like it's anything serious, but they still blur it just in case. But then you have other situations where that's not even a problem, and it's like even more detailed than what the animation version or the indie tune version was showing. So again, it's hit and miss with YouTube. So it's just gonna boil down to who sees it and who doesn't, or whatever the fucking AI thinks it sees. Oh, I was wondering why this was weird. I was like, why is this not working the way I want it to? And I was like, probably because we're not using the blur tool. Genius. There we go. Alright, I think that should be enough messing with her makeup. Now just add some highlights. Well, I think it needs a shadow first, and then I can add the highlights. If I get demonetized by YouTube, I'll move content to Newgrounds. It's the same place. It's not about moving your content to another place, because that's easy. That's the easy part. You can put your stuff anywhere. The point is that YouTube is one of the bigger places where if you're monetized and your stuff does well with views and advertisement and stuff like that, you can make a decent amount of money out of it. But if they demonetize you, your options are heavily limited after that, because all that's really left is Patreon, Subscribestar, maybe Ko-Fi or Coffee, however you want to pronounce it. I don't know if Newgrounds has a monetization thing or not. And then there's OnlyFans, and that's kind of it, really. Like, your options are heavily limited, because animation just doesn't get the recognition it deserves. And YouTube's the best place to do it, but if YouTube gets picky about what they like and dislike, then it's just like, damn. So yeah, it's one of those situations where you're just like, you see much worse on YouTube, but for some reason they always go after like the simplest things. Yeah, just went for this. There you go. Or they always go after something really dumb. This is just who tunes the movie's content. You will not make more. Well, when it comes to Wolfie Tunes stuff being moved, it's like he can change his rating to not show up for kids, but you know, obviously kids will always just go out of their way to see stuff they're not supposed to see anyway. So that's up in the air, even though YouTube is technically not supposed to be for kids, so I don't know why kids are becoming a factor when it's like, well, if kids are on here, that's because their parents are failing them at the moment. But yeah, like if you had like a Patreon or whatever else to post his stuff on, I mean, there's plenty of options to post it. It's just if he wants to make any revenue off of it, that's where it becomes the problem. Favorite number of digits on pause for characters. For me, it depends on the character. Like their species and whatever situation. Because like, if you look at my character's digits, they're all over the place. So yeah. Just depends on what character you're making. Alright. But yeah, it's a pain in the ass because back in the day, this was a lot less of an issue. Because unfortunately there was a point where YouTube kind of bent the knee on their content, and that's what started to cause the problems. Even though they said that, you know, their content is not made for kids and all that, but they're still trying to make their website family friendly, which is a conundrum. Because it's like, okay, which is it? Is it for kids and families, or are, you know, adults allowed to have their shit here? Obviously, there are limits to that. You know, you don't want straight up porn. I mean, they could just make a YouTube Black for that exact scenario, but whether or not they pull the trigger on that is up to the future. But until that comes about, we're just gonna have to tiptoe around what is safe and what isn't. I look back and suddenly black eye. There's a situation where kids are watching something called content farm. Well, again, that's on the parents for not paying attention to what the hell their kids watch, because the content farm stuff, that's just because people are just taking popular characters. Either they have, you know, fast Flash animators to make the content, or they're using AI nowadays it's AI. But the whole idea is that they're taking popular characters, making just quick, fast animations, make them super shocking and all that by making them do mature adult things, or trying to, like, you know, pair shippings and stuff like that really quickly, and then go off of there because children are too captivated on what they're seeing or have their own headcanon, so they'll follow the brain rot content. But if people are bitching about that, it's like, well, the parents should be doing their jobs, paying attention to what the fuck their kids are watching. And then most of the time, the brain rot content is the more mature-based animations, you know, stuff like Five Nights at Freddy's, because Five Nights at Freddy's is not a children's series, despite what they make you think with all their merchandise and stuff like that. It's not a kid's series. Same thing for Digital Circus and Hell of a Boss and Hazbin Hotel, etc. Like, they give the appearance of being for kids because they have merchandise and toys and stuff, but when you actually watch the shows and play the games and stuff like that, they are nowhere near that. So to me, that just shows that parents don't know what the fuck their kids are looking at. some might get it, but they don't deep dive the way most of us do. So they don't like know like anything darker that may be in the content, stuff like that. And then if something does come up, usually it's like one of the offshoot stuff or the content farm stuff, but parents mistaken it as the real stuff, or they'll just, you know, complain about, oh my god, my kid saw blah blah blah. And I'm like, alright, where the hell were you? Because if your kid is seeing some shit that they shouldn't be seeing, then where the hell were you? Victim is a bit of a strong word, because if it's something that you weren't supposed to be watching, then that's either on you, depending on how old you were, or on your parents for not paying attention. But granted, you know, obviously those farms do like try to hide their intentions with the animations and stuff like that, so that part I do agree is messed up. But again, like, it also boils down to parents, you know, staying on top of that stuff. So if they check up on you and see something that you shouldn't be looking at, or see something bizarre where it's like, you know, the whole pregnant Spider-Man thing and all that, it's like, alright, that's something off, and then they're supposed to block that channel or whatever security measures that they have, and then go from there. But that shouldn't be something that is put on everybody else who's doing who's following the rules and stuff like that, and then they get fucked over, and then everybody gets fucked over, and then everything sucks. Again, this would be so much easier if we just had a separate channel or a separate YouTube site that houses the more mature content. Again, it doesn't have to be straight porn, but at least to the level of, like, you know, Mortal Kombat deaths or Kratos banging the women in the bed type of scenario, or whatever the hell of a boss and Hazbin Hotel can get away with. Like, at least at those levels, but damn. There's one YouTuber I hate, his name is I have no idea what who that is or their scenario, so I don't know the situation with that.
The game's over.
For the most part, I still follow like a lot of the OG creators, or at least the ones that I know deserve the attention that they should be getting. Mostly like animators and other stuff. Reactors I'm like on and off with, because for the most part I'm fine with them, but I also dislike that they make a shit ton of money just watching other people's hard work, which is really fucked up when you think about it. Because people are less likely to watch the original creator when they can just watch both the video and the person they want to see react to it. So even though they say, oh, we give traffic to those channels, sure, you can argue that, but they would still get that traffic had you not existed, because the content would find itself eventually, or would find its audience eventually. But if all the audiences, or if portions of the audience are being pulled into other creators rather than the original, then that's when it becomes a bigger problem. That's just how I view it, because that's how that would work. realistically. Because obviously, if reactors don't exist, then yes, the audience would go to the original creators. And I want to give her one more thing. Right about here. So yeah, even though every once in a while I might look at a reactors thing for a very specific person though, but usually I watch the original content first before I give a reactor attention. But I would prefer that if someone's going to react to someone's content, then there should be some sort of system that ensures that at least a majority share of the revenue should go to the original creator. Ideally. When I was educated and aware of React channels being as they are, the original. Yeah, that's like another problem is where you see people make like, they make their clips and stuff like that for YouTube stories now, and a lot of the time they don't link the original source or the creator. Sometimes the comic dubs do the same thing, or like they'll name the creator, but they won't make a link. They'll just write their name and then that's it. Sometimes it's in the actual video in the credits, and sometimes it's like buried in the description. So you have to like scroll up for a moment to look to find it. And then there's the ones that just don't name it at all, so you have to go out of your way to try to figure out where it came from. So there's that issue. Then there's the ones where people make content using other people's content. They'll credit them, but they never got their permission in the first place. And so they're making revenue off of people that they never got permission to make their content off of. And so there's that situation. So it honestly, it just boils down to people just, get away with whatever you can until it becomes a problem. Make however much money until it becomes a problem. If you're a creator, basically don't hate the player, hate the game type of thing. So just fuck with the system and use whatever you can at this point. It's like, if you can make revenue, then go for it. If you can't, then hopefully you can find other situations where you can. I don't know. It's one of those situations you just play the game at this point. Like, yeah, it sucks that it's being exploited, but what more can you do? And it's not so much like becoming a hypocrite, but it's more like, if this is how drastic the system of content is changing, then unfortunately you're better off adapting and just doing, not exactly doing what everybody else is doing, but at least do it to the extent where whatever content you're making can survive, and then go from there. Do. I have manually looked for the content. Yeah, I do that too. I do like all the time. It's not too hard, but there are times where there'll be like a character or something. You're just like, damn, where is this from? And it's like a pain in the ass to find the exact creator, because sometimes you'll find like the reposts and stuff like that, and not the original person. Yeah, comic dubs are in an interesting spot because obviously the people dubbing it should get credit for making it their own by doing that, but then it's up in the air on if the creators are actually getting the credit or getting the traffic that they should, because obviously it's not going to translate over very smoothly, because like just because people know who did it doesn't mean that person's in a well off spot because of it. But if they allow it, then they allow it. Like if they're giving the comic dubs permission, then that's fine. Whatever comes of it is whatever comes of it. But for those that are not doing it, or that are not properly giving the credit or even getting the permission, that's when it becomes a head scratcher. But that's between the creators and the content farm slash dubbers and all that stuff. So nothing I can do about that. It's more of up to them on if they discover the situation going on. I'm just adding in a little bit more details here and there. All right, so here's Goth Jam with some black ink drooling for no apparent reason. I just thought it looked cool because of the reference I was looking at. And I can always just turn it off. See? Stuff like this I usually put on a separate layer. But yeah, I think I'll call it for now. I'll debate on if I'm going to stream doing the background or not. If not, then I'll just do that off stream and then post it when it's ready. But if I don't have time to do that, then I'll do that for a stream, and that'll probably be the end of working on Goth Jam. But yeah, this has been a fun time so far. Let me look at the chat one more time. Do one new channel I like watching for years or Shark Party. A lot of scary stuff. Oh yeah. There are a bunch of channels that do that. Like what was it called? It's a channel that my friend's daughter used to watch. I don't know if she still watches it now. I think it was called AFMAO, I think it was, which surprised me that they have like merchandise in stores and all that. But like I watched, it was like during the time where I got asked to watch a few episodes of it just to make sure it didn't have like any crude content that her daughter shouldn't have been watching. And at least some of the stuff I watched was like kind of borderline, where it's like, okay, one person's pretending to be pregnant, but it's like they're like role playing a story scenario, so I had to watch it just to make sure nothing crazy was going on. But as far as I can tell, it wasn't anything as crazy as like the Elsa Gate stuff, but it was still like borderline close, but not to the degree that Elsa Gate did. But yeah, a lot of the time it's just random nonsense. It's just a lot of screaming because everybody knows that screaming just gets children's attention. Do something bizarre, have the bullshit reaction going like, "Oh my god, guys, look, guys, check that out, guys." You gotta say guys like 80 fucking times because I don't know, your audience is like 4 or something, and then I don't know, make up some weird situations like, oh, it's like, oh look, it's Jax from Amazing Digital Circus. What is Jax doing here? And then you just pretend to be Jax and then make up some love story or something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. um, but yeah. Anyway, thank you for yeah. That's my rant about nonsensical farming stuff. God help me if I ever have to start making that stuff, which I probably will, but it'll be easy because I have the fucking fruit cast for that shit. So just make some shorts with whichever character talking nonsense and see what happens. Anyway, thank you very much for coming. I'm gonna stream again tomorrow or today. It's today now. Like I said, if I have time to finish doing the background off stream, then I will. If not, then I'll just save it for the stream, and then if I get done with that fast enough, then we can do something else. Gonna just keep working on the stuff I'm working on. I finished up. I had the next I had volume 2 page or chapter 2 page or volume 2 chapter 2.5. Finished that. Have to look and see what's on the list and then go from there because I do want to focus more, but I'm trying to like do that at an appropriate time. But I'll look it over and decide tonight. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming.